Have you ever been robbed before? Maybe your wallet, your purse, your camera, your phone has been stolen. Or maybe your roommate has stolen your food. In reality, you're being robbed from each semester and you don't even know it. Now, the thief isn't the traditional bandit. Rather, it's an organization that you trust. An organization that holds all of your confidences and operates on the basis of honesty and integrity. Now, who is this thief? It's the BYU Testing Center. Now, the BYU Testing Center boasts the largest testing facility in the US and Canada. This house of thieves can host over 750 unsuspecting students at a time. On the Testing Center's website, we can read that annually, the BYU Testing Center administers more than 800,000 tests, returning over 1 million class hours back to the university. Returning 1 million class hours back to the university? What does that even mean? Returning them from whom? Returning them at the expense of whom? Does the testing center own the class hours to return them? Or do they belong to the students who bought them with their own tuition? I think we should rephrase that to annually, the BYU Testing Center steals over 1 million hours from the student body of BYU. Now, the grand majority of tests given in the testing center are classroom tests. These are tests that at most universities are administered in class. But the BYU Testing Center allows BYU faculty to administer their tests in the testing center instead of the classroom. Now, on the testing center's website, there are 3 purported advantages of the testing center. First, the tests don't take up valuable classroom time. Second, the tests can be written to take 2 to 3 hours, while tests administered during class are usually limited to 1 hour. I'm sure we're all grateful to that fact. The test can be written to take 2 to 3 hours. And secondly, and lastly, the test can be available to students for a longer period of time, providing flexibility to the students, allowing them to take the test at more convenient times. Now, are these points really advantageous to students, or do they mostly favor professors? Let's take a look at the truth. First, while tests in the testing center don't take up valuable classroom time, they do take up valuable time outside of class. In BYU, we're all very involved in activities outside of the classroom. Intramurals, clubs, you have families, some of you have friends, and really all the BYU Testing Center is doing is forcing you to reallocate your time outside the classroom back to the university. It's an undisclosed theft on our time. And the testing center allows for longer tests, but longer tests don't equal better tests. And the existence of the testing center encourages long tests. If professors had to give tests in class, they would likely be more vigilant of the content and quality and timing of the test. But at no expense, the professors can arrange for 2, 3, 4-hour tests easily in the testing center. Next, the testing center claims that it provides convenience and flexibility to students. When in reality, the testing center encourages procrastination and even rewards it, and there is no more convenient time to take a test than in class when you've already blocked out time for academics. BYU students don't learn time management skills because they can just put off their test until the late day and take the test then. And in-class tests would be optimal because everyone has already blocked out time to go to class and be involved in academics. My last point is that the testing center can be extremely inconvenient and is a very uncomfortable place to take a test. Now, a 30-minute exam can easily turn into an hour or an hour and a half ordeal because of line conditions. And during finals week, tests can be over 4 hours, or test lines can be over 4 hours long, reaching all the way to the Eyring Center. I hope all of you are excited for finals. Now, not only are lines a hassle, but it's a very uncomfortable place to take a test. Why? Because the guy next to you is rattling a Doritos bag, making every noise possible, and the girl behind you is sneezing and sniffing the whole test, and you're worried about getting sick. Now, I think I've spent a long enough time talking about the grand larceny that's occurring in the testing center. And I haven't even mentioned the organized crime that is the late fees. Now, just in closing, all of the alleged advantages of the BYU Testing Center really are disadvantageous to students. At a minimum, it's an undisclosed theft of our time. And the pirates of the Heber J. Grant are pillaging and plundering the students of BYU every day. So what can you do? Call your kids, call your wife, call your parents, call your BYUSA representatives, maybe even call the university police to report the crimes that are occurring in the BYU Testing Center. Thank you.